Good morning. This is John Checky. It's Thursday. It's the second installment about baby boomers going from one stage of life, working for wages, looking for income, to the next stage of life, working to stay engaged, involved, holding your family together, trying to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and trying to figure out what you actually want to do now that your time is yours. Today, I talked to a lady who has been a widow for a period of time. And before that, she was a mommy and a wife, still has children. And what happens next? Well, one, you might want to consider maintaining your energy. How do you do that? At 76 years and just about 10 months, I enrolled in a hormone reset program. And you'll say, gee, John, what the heck is that? That's about properly balancing your food, whether it's fat, protein, starch, vegetables, carbohydrates, depending upon your predilection, your state of health, and what have you. I have these headphones on because I've made some telephone calls to clients, and if they return the call between various coping opportunities, I'd like to be able to speak with them and have both my hands to make inputs into my computer at the same time. So what do you do to avoid being old, sick, and broke, and getting toward healthy, wealthy, and wise? Well, if you're lucky enough to start early in your life, saving, investing, exercising, eating properly, developing relationships, having a family, keeping a family together by getting through the various coping opportunities that families provide. I'm going to call to one of my clients who is a different state, and son of a Brussels sprout immediately went to voicemail, told me, oh, gee, voicemail box is full. Immediately got a message back saying, coping with a family issue. Can I call you tomorrow? Yep. And I used to jokingly think that as you got to be older, there'd be few coping opportunities, other maybe some health issues. Family is that joy that just keeps on giving day in and day out, as do all relationships, unless, as I joked earlier today, I don't see as many conflicts, I just don't hear as well. Or maybe it's just not paying attention to conflicts and instead trying to get beyond them by understanding the other person's point of view, what lack they're trying to overcome, what earlier trauma in life they're trying to traverse or recover from, what addiction they have, whether it's the telephone or a screen or television or eating or drinking or whatever that means, or constantly being in touch with the entire universe, unless that's absolutely necessary. So how do you get from working to the next stage? Well, as a financial advisor, we normally suggest finding out if you can afford that. One day, a very nice couple referral worked in my office and said, well, we are 70, that was him, and 65, that was her, and we'd like to know if we can afford to retire. And they were very relaxed. I thought, wow, first of all, I really admire how wonderfully relaxed you both are. Because I thought if I was 70 and 65, husband and wife, married, and not quite sure how we could afford to stop working, I would be a lot less relaxed than you are. What's your secret? Well, of course, they believed in the saving work of Jesus Christ. They were in the same church as a longtime client of mine. They were lucky enough, unlike me, perhaps unlike you, to have inherited a couple of homes in great shape in affluent communities within this area, Highland Park. So had that real estate reserve, which is generating some income for them, plus a few investments, which could generate some income for them. That's pretty good. You're relatively healthy. We were talking to that couple for a number of years. And the recurring theme was when you grow up in an affluent neighborhood, you commonly come up with some spending habits, whether it's going out to eat at really nice restaurants that are expensive, or going to stores where clothes are really expensive, and driving cars that are really expensive. You get the idea. Spending lots of money. Now, if you have lots of money in income, golden. If you don't have lots of money in income, spending lots of money is not a very good idea at all. So what do? If you're a financial advisor and you're paid to give people advice, and we are, I said for about 3 years, I think you're spending too much money. And toward the end of the third year, was it the middle, the lady said, I think you're telling me I'm spending too much money. Husband and I almost fell off our chairs. At any rate, so what do? You're trying to adjust your spending pattern if you have a spending problem, or adjust your income, or don't live as long. I know that sounds terrible to say. But what you want to do or consider doing is doing a projection of what your income is, what your expenses are, what you'd like to have for discretionary. What does discretionary mean? If, like, a couple, husband and wife, and their daughter, and some grandchildren, are all going to Branson, Missouri over Thanksgiving holidays. Why? Well, they bought a timeshare. And unlike some people that buy timeshares, they're actually using it. And they're using it regularly. It seems like half the times I've talked to them this year, they're either there, Branson, or coming back from Branson, or planning on going to Branson. So they enjoy the shows. And they enjoy being with their daughter, grandchildren, and each other, which is a major accomplishment all by itself. There are some families that I know, part of the family is not talking to the other family for reasons known only to them, could be perfectly justified. God will judge that, not me, even if it's my own family. So, first step, find out where you are. Second step, take an assessment, and you might want to get some help with that in terms of, gee willikers, what's a typical pattern for people going from working for money to not working for money? An awful lot of folks I know will pick up a variety of volunteer activities, whether it's singing with a band like my wife, or teaching yoga, again, like my wife, or volunteering at church, or one fella, a drummer, got a job as a security guard. I'm not sure why, but he did. Usually people do that for money, not just for the joy of making sure all the doors are locked. But figuring out what you'd like to do next after you figure out if you can afford to stop working for wages, or if you just suddenly get an opportunity to have some more time, a nice way of saying got early retirement, and maybe a bridge, get some help. And I know that sounds like a shameless plug, and it kind of is, but if you have not retired before, you might want to consider engaging with a financial firm that specializes in helping people retire successfully so they can be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and have fun, and still have money. This is John Checky, co-founder of Financial, right here in Plano, Texas, in my case, and Fort Worth, Texas, in JJ's case. Have fun and be well. Look forward to seeing you sooner and later.